Now, experts are saying the standoff over Ukraine threatens to be the biggest political crisis in Europe since the Cold War. Russia's lower house of parliament voted to annex Crimea from Ukraine, prompting tougher sanctions from the United States and a tit-for-tat response from Russia. Our Jim Spellman is in our Washington, D.C. newsroom with the latest. Now, Jim, what's the goal of these new sanctions?
Karina, the short-term goal of these sanctions is to prevent a Russian incursion into southern and eastern Ukraine by putting pressure on President Putin and his inner circle. In Washington, a hastily arranged announcement from President Obama.
We're imposing sanctions on more senior officials of the Russian government. In addition, we are today sanctioning a number of other individuals with substantial resources and influence who provide material support to the Russian leadership.
The sanctions target 16 government officials, including President Putin's chief of staff, 4 members of President Putin's inner circle, and 1 Russian bank. The sanctions freeze Russian assets held in the U.S. and bars those on the list from traveling to the U.S. or doing business in U.S. dollars. Russia, in turn, responded by banning 9 high-profile U.S. lawmakers and White House officials from traveling to Russia. U.S. officials mocked the ban.
I am personally, of course, disappointed I won't be able to vacation with Ben Rhodes and Dan Pfeiffer in Russia, but perhaps we'll wait on that for future.
Speaking in the Russian Duma, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov called the unilateral U.S. sanctions illegal.
It's absolutely void from a legal point of view and simply unacceptable from a moral point of view.
And Russia is now threatening to revisit its participation in multinational Iranian nuclear talks if tensions with the U.S. continue. President Obama said it's not too late to reset relations.
Russia still has a different path available, one that de-escalates the situation and one that involves Russia pursuing a diplomatic solution with the government in Kiev, with the support of the international community.
But Russia shows no sign of choosing that path, and the U.S. shows no sign of giving up on sanctions. Earlier today, President Obama also signed an executive order that would allow the U.S. to put in some sanctions on large sectors of the Russian economy. These would include energy, mining, defense, and engineering. They could potentially have a much bigger impact on the Russian economy, but there's a real risk with that because that could have an impact on the global economy, especially in Europe, Karina.
Yeah, Jim, well, the president also said that it's not too late to reset the relationship. Also, the U.S. has consistently said that U.S. military intervention is off the table. Is that still the case?
Absolutely. This morning on a conference call with reporters, senior U.S. administration sources laid out the administration's thinking on these sanctions. And one of the main goals is to avoid Russia entering into eastern or southern Ukraine, largely because they fear that could lead to a shooting war between Ukraine and Russia. Potentially that could draw the U.S. into that conflict with military intervention. There's simply no appetite for that in the Obama White House, and that really has been a consistent theme in their foreign policy. You saw that in Libya, in Syria, in Egypt, where they really don't want to go as far as actually getting involved militarily in any of these conflicts, Karina.